Yo, what's going on everybody? So in this video I'll be telling you guys about some keyboard shortcuts for FL Studio 20 and how they can really help to speed up your workflow. So the first one I'll be showing you guys is F1, and this might be the most important one because what it does is it opens up the image line manual that has all the rest of the information on keyboard shortcuts, stock plugins, or basically anything else related to FL Studio. So I'll show you that. So it does open it up on the web browser, which can take a little bit of time. But yeah, it just shows you all the basics here, and it does have a search bar if it loads anytime soon. Yeah, right here's the search bar, and it has all the information about FL Studio, and basically anything that you could be curious about you'll find here. And next is F5, and that'll collapse your playlist. Next is F6, which will open your channel rack quickly and also close it down. And then F7 will quickly open up your piano roll. F8 will open up your plugin picker. And it has all these different categories here, which is nice and organized. And you just hit F8 again to close the plugin picker. And then F9 will open up your mixer. And then if you hit Control and F8 at the same time, it opens up your pattern picker, and also displays your channels here as well. So like any samples you're using or plugins you're using in your channel rack, basically all your channels are here to the right, and then patterns to the left, and then there's also these categories in the bottom here. So that's Control and F8. And then F10 will just simply close everything down. If you have lots of windows open and you just want to shut everything down just to be more organized, then just hit F10 and that'll quickly shut everything down. And then next I will show you some very useful workflow tips to have a quicker workflow, and that includes things like using the tools up here. So first I'll show you keyboard shortcuts to activate the tools, and if you hover your mouse over top of the tools, it'll actually show you right here beside this knob in the top left corner. It'll show you the letter on your keyboard that you need to press. And so for the draw tool you hit P, and for the paint tool you hit B, and then for the delete tool you hit D, or if you just hit delete when something's highlighted, that deletes things too. And to mute, the mute tool you hit T, and then the slip tool you hit S, slice tool hit C, the highlight tool you hit, select tool you hit E, zoom you hit Z, and then playback you hit Y. And those are the shortcuts to activate all the tools in the top corner here. And then next I'll show you quick workflow tips like highlighting and copying and pasting things quickly. So to highlight things, you just hold Control and then click and drag, and that'll allow you to highlight things quickly. And then if you want to quickly make a copy of something and drag it over, then just hold Shift, and then you can just click whatever's highlighted, and it'll just pull a copy off of it. And you can even do that while things are unhighlighted. You just hold shift and grab something and drag it like that, and it'll drag a copy out. I think that's the quickest way to copy and paste things, in my opinion. And then another way to copy and paste is obviously to hold Control, hit C to copy, and then Control V to paste, and that'll kind of just paste a copy wherever on the playlist. But if you want to make a copy directly to the right of what's highlighted, then hold Control and hit B, and that'll just paste a copy directly to the right side of whatever you have highlighted. And obviously, to delete things quickly, you just hold the right, you just right click, and then you can just go over things and delete things like that. And then to undo things really quickly, you just hold Control, hit Z. That'll undo something one time, and then if you hit it again, it'll just redo that. If you go in the top corner here and hit Edit, then it'll show you keyboard shortcuts for a lot of these things. And Control Z is actually the redo button, but I use it to undo once. That also works. You undo things once and then you hit it again, then it's redo. But if you want to actually undo multiple things, then you hold Control Alt and Z, and that'll undo your last move. And then to slice things, I have found that sometimes it's hard for me to cut a straight line. I'll just like cut, whatever angle, whatever. But if you hold shift and then click, it'll turn it into a straight line, and then it's much easier to actually make a clean, straight slice. And if you want to delete a side of whatever you're slicing, then if you hold shift or not, if you just right click and then you get this red line, then that'll delete either the shorter end of whatever you're slicing, or it'll delete the right side of whatever you're slicing. And next is a pretty useful function. If you have a lot of MIDI patterns like I do here, and they end up slowing down your computer because all the plugins are running to play the MIDI in these patterns, then if you render them to audio to make audio clips, then that actually saves your CPU a ton, because it's just playing the audio now, it's not using all the plugins. So to do that quickly is you just highlight something and then you hold Control Shift Alt and C all at the same time, and it'll open up the render menu here, and then you just hit start, and then it'll render whatever's highlighted to audio real quick. And then as you can see, it made this audio clip here, and it muted the patterns. So the patterns are still here if you need to change something, but they're muted, so they're not running the plugins. And it created another track above, and it grouped the track with the MIDI patterns underneath it, so you can collapse that into the first pattern. And I found this to be extremely useful to save my CPU. And if you have a massive pattern or a massive project with lots of MIDI and plugins running at the same time, then I'm sure you'll find this useful as well. So Next, I'll be showing you some zoom functions, so first of all, if you hover your mouse above this line here, and then you scroll on your mouse, then it'll zoom in quickly. Or if you hold Control and then zoom on your mouse, then it'll also zoom in. But if you hold Alt on your mouse and then use the scroll wheel, it'll zoom in vertically like this, and it'll expand your tracks so you can see things in more detail like that. And then to navigate your playlist more precisely, then just click the scroll wheel, and that allows you to grab the screen and to actually drag it over to wherever it is that you want. And now to insert a track in between two tracks or something like that, then you just right click on the lower track and then hit I, and that'll insert a track right above the one you right clicked on. And then you can right click another track and then hit G, and that'll group it underneath the track directly above it. And that can be useful for organizing your playlist. And next I'll be showing you some things within the channel rack. So to highlight all your channels, just click the top channel once, the little box here beside the channel. You just click that and it'll highlight all the channels. Or if you want to highlight only certain ones, then just click any channel and drag your mouse, and that'll highlight all of those. Or if you want to highlight individual ones, then hold Control and Shift at the same time, and then you can deselect and select certain channels like this. And now if you have a pattern that is basically good and you just want to shift your steps here in the step sequencer, you just want to shift your steps over a few steps, then you just highlight that channel and then you hold Control and Shift and then use your arrow keys to shift those steps over in the step sequencer. And if you have your channels here and you want to send them to the mixer, but you don't want to rename each and every mixer track and color them the same color, you can very quickly send them to the mixer with the names and with the colors just by opening up whichever plugin or sample it is, and then hold Control and hit L, and that'll send it directly to the mixer with the names and with the colors and everything. And so in your mixer, if you want to select multiple mixer tracks, you can click and drag, or double click a track and then drag your mouse, and it'll highlight all those mixer tracks. And then if you want to shift certain tracks in the mixer over, then just hold Alt and hit the arrow key, and that'll move that mixer track over to the right or to the left. And now to identify which channel a certain mixer track belongs to, you can just highlight one and then hit Alt L, and then in your channel rack here it'll have highlighted the channel that mixer track belongs to. And if you want to select individual mixer tracks, then just hold Control and Shift, and then you can select individual ones basically the same as in the playlist or as in the channel rack. And now normally your meters here are dB meters, but if you would like to see a waveform view instead of the dB meter, then just hit Alt and W, and that changes the view of the meters. So here's the dB meter, and here's the waveform view. So I found that to be very useful for certain things, to see the waveform view like that. And finally, I'll show you how to really quickly create a new pattern. And to do that, you just hit the F4 key, and that'll quickly open up a new pattern and let you rename it right now. Name it new pattern. And then there we go. So that'll be it for this video. If this video was useful for you guys, then definitely leave a like. And if you want to get more videos like this, then make sure to hit subscribe. And definitely check out the rest of my channel for more tutorials. And also check out my hip hop instrumentals playlist to see all my beats. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace.